Hello, YouTube. We are back with another Lord of the Rings online dungeon guide. This time, we are going to be looking at the Halls of Crafting challenge mode. Halls of Crafting is an incredibly long dungeon in comparison to the other dungeons that exist within Moria. And a lot of it is truly just because of not only like the size of the dungeon, but how long the boss fights take. So I'm cutting out a lot from this dungeon, and I'm really just going to show you the boss fights and just kind of go over them. So this is boss one. Boss one. I'm sorry if you're colorblind. There are no settings for. I don't think there's a colorblind mode setting, at least not that I'm aware of, or what the screen would look like if there is a colorblind mode. But this section here is blue. This back section here is green. This one's a yellow or orange color, and this one right here is red. The whole concept of this fight is the boss, when he stands in a specific section, he gains a buff. So in the blue one, blue buff, green buff, so on and so forth. What you want to do is keep swapping the boss between the blue side and the green side. You can wait till the boss has maybe, I'd say like 8 buffs, depending on your tank. Essentially what happens is just obviously the more buffs they have, the boss has, the more damage he's going to do in certain circumstances. So it'll depend on your tank mostly. I think I have it recorded or I have it shown. So the tank accidentally went to the red one or the orange one, which turns into a pink buff. You do not want this one. This orange yellow one that gives you a pink buff is minus incoming damage. And of course it stacks. So with 2 stacks, that's minus 40% incoming damage for melee, ranged, and tactical. And it heals while in this state. So that side of the room is, you don't want to go there. It is going to make this fight incredibly long, and it's already long to begin with. So you don't want to go there. You want to go between the green and the blue ones. The green one, if I remember right, once he moves, the green one is tactical damage. That's fine. So it increases the tactical damage of the boss. As far as I'm aware, the boss only has maybe 1 or 2 tactical specific abilities. So like it'll be more massive chunks on the tank, but it won't be a consistent output of damage. So it'll be very bursty. So majority of healers can handle burst damage. People would argue that in RK, that's where RK's weakness is burst damage, but an RK healer can handle it, no problem. The blue room is range damage, which again, the tank can handle pretty easily. It's again more bursty. What happens is the boss will do a specific ranged ability, and then when the tank moves to a different position, like from one side of the room to the other, the boss then does a ranged attack before he moves and has, come and see how true my arrows fly. So he has ranged abilities. So it's scarier than the tactical damage, but it's not as scary as the red one. Because the red room, what that one does is it increases the boss's melee damage. That one you want to avoid at all costs because your tank will die if they don't switch after, I think, 3 or 4 stacks. Because the boss is consistently meleeing the tank, it's going to be a lot of damage. So this is why the easiest way is to just switch it from blue to red, back and forth. And every time you do the switch, ads will spawn, kill the ads, DPS the boss, switch rooms, kill the ads, DPS the boss, switch rooms, so on and so forth. It's a very long fight because the boss, it just has a lot of health and has a lot of mitigation, so everyone's just doing less damage. And that's the entire fight. This boss alone is 6 minutes long, which is kind of insane. Yeah, it took me actually almost closer to 7 minutes to complete this fight, and that's pretty long for a boss fight. Most fights should take between like 2 to 4 minutes, so this is almost double. But yes, so now I will move on to the next fight. All right, boss 2. For whatever reason, I know what's happening. I just don't know why it happens. But this fight seems to be the hardest fight for groups. All this boss does, and quick disclaimer, because this dungeon is so long, I forgot to hit the re-record button. It's like, no, I wanted to showcase the fight, but it's fine. I can still talk about it because it's a simple fight. Interrupt the boss. The boss has a bunch of different casts that he does. Just interrupt it. Easy. A tank and a melee can handle it, but anyone can participate. It's fine. It's easy to do. The only other thing this boss does is you see these squares. All right, you have this square. You have this triangle piece. You have this square. You have one in the middle. All that happens is a bit of smoke and fire will come out of the middle. When you see that happen, move. Please move. There's so many times I have done this dungeon with random groups of people, and they just don't move. All you have to do is move. And then it's usually 2 to 3 people that die. So now the boss is killed with 1 tank, 1 healer, and 1 DPS, and it just makes the fight so much longer than it needs to be. All you have to do is move. Don't move on this little wooden platform. I mean, you should see a red square. Maybe these elements where what's supposed to happen is when something appears and it's like, oh, this is an area effect skill casted by the boss or the dungeon or whatever. You should see a red square to show you the area in which you will die or take damage if you're within that red square. But that might be a specific setting that has to be turned on, and it might be turned off by default. So if that's the case, then I'm going to make a video about some hidden options and hidden settings that the game doesn't teach you about it later. But regardless, don't just stand on if the middle section here is about to get set on fire, don't stand on the wooden platform. Just move over to the next square. Just move. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Position yourself where you can see the fire, the square or the location that you're sitting in, right? So if you're standing in the middle, don't stand in the middle. Don't put yourself between the middle of the square and the boss. Stand on the outsides so that if the boss is on this chest here on the left and you're standing in the middle square, don't stand where the bear is in this specific circumstance. Stand in the back here. Stand in the back near the edge so that when you see the fire or smoke pop up, all you have to do is move to the back, move to the right, move to the left, and it's fine. You see it coming, take a step back, move to the square behind you, and then go back to doing damage. That's all you have to do. That's it. But for whatever reason, that part becomes a massive challenge for groups. And I don't know if it's because they don't recognize it right away, if they're not paying attention. It's just that's what gets these groups killed. And half of the Halls of Crafting dungeons fail because of this specific boss. Because people just don't move, and the walk back to this boss is really annoying, and people don't want to just deal with it. They do go through a second time. You get to like the last 5% of the boss's health, and then half the group wipes because they're not paying attention, and now you've just wasted like an hour of your life. So just move out of the way. Position yourself so that you can see the smoke and then just move. And it may be a situation where if you're standing in the middle and you move back, all of a sudden there's smoke that's going to come out of this back section. So then you got to move again. And then smoke is going to move out of this triangle section. So you got to move again. That may happen. And you're just going to have to keep moving. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Moving will keep you alive. Just stay alive and the boss will die. That's how simple this is. I don't know what it is, but this fight just is a struggle for a lot of people. And it just, maybe it's because they think if they stand on the wooden sections that they're safe, but you're not. The smoke or the fire that comes out of the floor pools over the wooden platforms or the wooden sections. So just move into the next area. If you're in the middle one, move over. If you're in this corner, move all the way over. Don't just take a one side step. Just move over completely and then continue going. That is the safest way to do it. And that's this fight. That's it. It's move and interrupt the boss. Pretty simple. All right, on to the final boss. All right, the last boss. This boss is incredibly easy. It is just a very long fight because of the boss's morale and the mitigations that the boss has. So, all you have to do is you see these ads that I'm walking around killing? Kill them. They're not allowed to touch the boss. This one gave me a little panic attack, but it was just an assassin, so we're fine. That's all you have to do. They're going to spawn quite quickly, and that's also what makes this fight long, because a lot of the damage is going out to these ads rather than the boss. But they're not hard to kill. I can solo probably 3 of them. So just, you go around, kill all 4. They spawn from those doors that you see in the corners of the room. And then once that happens, go back to killing the boss. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You can slow these ads, you can stun these ads, you can do whatever it is you want to them to make it so that they don't reach the boss. You lose when the minions touch the boss. So that means, and I've seen this happen, and it is the most heartbreaking thing ever. If you are the tank, please do not move. I know this fight is incredibly boring for tanks. It's long, you're not doing anything. So not moving just adds to how boring it is. And I totally understand that. But just don't move. I've seen tanks want to try to help. Or they're like, oh, we need to kill the ads, so I'm going to go kill the ads. So then they move, and they go to one of the ads, but then the boss follows them, and then the ad is closer to the boss, and the challenge mode is lost. When you start this fight, just stand in the middle as the tank, and you're just going to sit there. You're just going to sit there, hit your buttons, interrupt the boss where you can, and that's your entire job as the tank. That's it. That's all you have to do. Everyone else is focusing ads. Kill them before doing damage to the boss. I know it's going to feel really, really frustrating and boring. You're like, we're not doing damage to the boss. But if you do, the other thing is if you don't kill the ads, you can actually get to the point where multiple ads will spawn, because you're killing them too slowly. So you have to kill the ads as fast as possible so that you can actually do damage to the boss. Because for whatever reason, they have the ad spawn rate at like I think it's like 15 seconds or something, or 20 seconds, so that by the time you kill all 4, you have like 3 seconds of doing damage on the boss, and then you have to go kill the ads again. So just kill the ads as fast as possible, and that'll help you kill the boss faster. And that's it. It's a long fight. You have to stay focused. You're gonna get bored, and it sucks, but that's the way that it is. Yeah, so that's it. That's the entire dungeon. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. I think there's 3 more dungeons that we have to discuss. There's Dark Delvings, the 16th Hall, and Phil Gashin. I do have Dark Delvings in the works right now. Um, so I'll be putting that video out soon. I've not done 16th Hall yet for a video, but that one shouldn't be too difficult to do. Phil Gashin is a little bit trickier. It's a longer dungeon. It's not a hard dungeon. It's really long. It's longer than Halls of Crafting in some regards. It's not harder. The boss fights aren't longer. It's just the dungeon itself is massive, and the challenge mode behind it is a little bit trickier. So getting a group that just makes doing that dungeon easy, so that I can just record a quick video on it, is a little bit of a challenge. So I'm still working on that. But then after that, it should be the end of our Moria dungeon guides. So yeah, thanks for watching. Once again, I will leave a link or a video stamp at the end so that you can go check out my Moria movie story that I've been working on, that I'm slowly turning into an animation project, hopefully. So go check that out. Honestly, if you just watch it and leave a comment, or watch it and go share, listen to it while you're leveling, whatever it is, it would mean a lot. And the support that I've been getting on YouTube over the last little while has been amazing, and I do thank you guys a lot. It truly does mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. So I just wanted to make sure that was known. And also, if you wanted to come by the Twitch channel when I'm streaming right now on the weekends, for I guess for Europe folks that live in Europe, or on that side of the world, I stream during your evening hours on the weekends, and then that's kind of mid-afternoon, early evening for the North American folks. On the weekdays, I try to stream where I can in my afternoon, so that the European folks can still watch, as it's not super late for them just yet. But generally in the weekdays, I stream in the evenings for North American times. Weekends, I'm doing Lord of the Rings Online, and weekdays right now we're playing the Golem game. But you're always welcome to come by, say hello, ask questions about Lord of the Rings Online, ask questions about Lord of the Rings in general, ask questions about anything in general. Love to chat, love to hang out. We have a nice little community that just loves coming by, de-stressing from the day, and having a laugh and just hanging out. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.